free falling, falling.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. It's education and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are being broadcasted live. Yes, we are live right here at lifestyleradio.net. Plus, if you look around, you can also find us at places such as Spreaker, TuneIn Radio. We even broadcast live at the Pace Radio Show. And I'm your host, Al Graham. Tonight, we are joined by my joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. And our guest tonight is a man who has broke down many barriers and walls when it comes to educating society as a whole about medicinal cannabis. But first, Kim and I are going to have our usual chat. Hello, Kim. How are you?
I'm sore. I'm tired. I'm broken, but I at the same time am fantastic from our awesome weekend away this past weekend.
Yes, yeah, we were down at Indigenous Awakening Music Fest down at Tenaganaga Reserve. Wayne's sitting here beside me. He already started to laugh.
Bit of a tongue twister. We know it's a tongue twister, Al. Yeah, Tyendinaga territory. I mean, fantastic off the hook performances had last weekend on Saturday during the Indigenous Cannabis Cup, the Indigenous Awakening it was called. Man, what a day, eh?
Yeah. Oh, big time. 12 and a half hours of constant music, Aboriginal music. There was some sort of cover stuff. There was some original artists. There was some native dancing involved. And then, of course, there was the headliner.
Yeah, the Headstones with Hugh Dillon. Oh my God, what a performance by that band. The entire day, the lineup was just simply breathtaking. It was amazing. The dancers, as you said, the costumes and the Indigenous dress and stuff, just simply breathtaking, fantastic stuff. All of the Indigenous artists that were there that sang so many genres of music. I mean, we had yodelers, country and western. Buddy was up there and I mean, he was a ringer for Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
he went from Johnny Cash to the next song was Bob Marley.
Yeah, and then he was yodeling, you know. Yeah. We talk about versatile, right? You can hear my voice cracking. It's still cracking from the event. All the screaming and everything that I did while the Headstones were on stage. I'm having a bit of an issue with my voice. It's much better today than it was yesterday, but it is still cracking a little bit.
Yeah, and they had vendors there, several of them that were doing cannabis-based products. Or art, and we talked to several of them during the live broadcast that we had on Saturday.
Yeah, it was great walking around talking to everybody that was there, like you say, the vendors and the entertainers and so forth. And there were many people that were in attendance as guests and festival goers that we spoke to as well, that were from all over Canada. People from other Indigenous territories coming to have a look at what is going on in Tyendinaga. It is so attractive to these other territories because of the prosperous economics that is going on in that territory for these people right now. I mean, people are employed. They have jobs. That brings money and capital into the area. Construction is happening. Building is going on. A prosperous community means for a more proud people, and a more proud people means for a better community.
Oh, yes, for sure. For sure. It's it's quite the operation that they got going down there. This event was sponsored and put on by Tim Barnhart of Legacy 420, and he's built quite the place there in order to be able to hold events, and he's got lots of plans. And like this was just bare knuckles stuff there to hold it, and now he's got the infrastructure and he can expand from there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. People from all over. We spoke to people from Saskatchewan, BC, and as well as down east. They were there to have a look and to see and to take that information back to their communities and their territories and try and duplicate it.
Yes. Yeah. They were. There were several of them that we talked to that we interviewed during the program.
Yeah.
Great. Paul Trudeau was one of the fellows.
Yeah. Paul's a great guy. I've been talking to him for quite a number of years on social media and online and that. And they've got some great stuff going on in the different communities out there. There was also that other gentleman. His name escapes me right now. He was my second interview of the night, of the day over there. And he was over from Saskatchewan. We met him the following day there at the store. And he was there to take pictures and take the information back to Saskatchewan.
I know his name. His name was the guy in the red shirt.
The guy in the red shirt. That's right. I've got his business card around here somewhere, along with the other, 100 or so that I got this weekend.
Now, also, some news came out this week too, and that was the announcement from the provincial government on their plans on going to how they're going to sell cannabis here in the province.
Good old Ontario coming in last one more time.
Sorry, you can't hear that, Wayne.
I mean, Doug Ford, what a piece of work. Okay, so great. We're going to have private. That's wonderful, that part. But the restrictions, the payments, and the timeline, not to mention the consumption restrictions.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that, like from October 1st to April the 1st, people from Ontario can only order from online.
Yeah.
There's no storefronts whatsoever.
Yeah, that's great for the largest province in this great country of ours, isn't it? The only one that's not ready. Yeah,
and we don't know anything about the application process, whether they're going to only allow large businesses or where they allow the small business guy. I know, like tonight, I'm at Canada's in downtown Campbellford, and there's an article on the Trent News Now this week about Wayne and the business and the fact that he's expanding. I am in the new location right now, but it's not open yet. And Wayne, you've got some plans to be able to maybe get involved in that?
Well, we're hoping for at least the opportunity, and we have Jack Lloyd working on it for us. So, I have a lot of faith in Jack's abilities, and hopefully the bill is written in a way that small people like myself can get in instead of the drugstore that's behind me or some other big
large conglomerate.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to open it up to the private market, let's make sure head shops are first and foremost, among other cannabis-related stores, hydroponic stores. Maybe some of these dispensaries should be allowed. Why not? Right? We already exist.
We'll find out.
Absolutely.
We'll find out as time goes on.
Do you think that their announcement about, restricting anybody that's basically in the black market, so to speak, now, do you think that is going to be problematic in the future for you? Do you think that they're going to restrict it for the little guy or because of that?
Are you talking to me or are you talking about Wayne?
Wayne.
Okay, Wayne can't hear you.
We'll ask him.
Okay. Do you think it's going to be a problem for the little guys and people that are dealing with...
because of what they said about not letting the black market...
Not letting the black market people in. People who have a criminal record, they're not going to allow them to be involved in it.
I don't want to speculate on anything like that until the final bill is written. Like I said in the article in the news there, I'm hopefully optimistic, but I'm certainly not jumping up and down cheering by any means until I see what the final bill is. And then it's also going to depend on the supplies too. How many true grassroots craft market type growers are we going to get? Because I tell you one thing, I'm not selling tweed weed.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
Okay,
go.
we got a craft brewery right across the street
That's
from
right.
here, so why not a craft cannabis place?
Yeah, that's right.
All righty, Kim. Well, let's. Why don't we move on to the show and we'll get our guests involved here.
Yeah, because I know we've got lots to hear from our guests tonight.
That's right, we do. Okay, well, when it came to educating society about medicinal cannabis, our guest tonight is a man, who broke down barriers and walls and was a big help in getting PACE itself, a voice and an opportunity to educate the masses. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Marco Renda to the PACE Radio Show. Hello, Marco. How are you?
Hey, Al. Kim. Hi, Al. How are you guys?
We're good. Hey, welcome to the program. It's been a while since we've had a good talk.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me on tonight and wanting to hear what my future escapades are going to
be. Okay, I've heard a little bit. I'm interested in hearing some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand the reins over to Kim, let her start firing the questions at you, and I'll join in as we go along.
As long as she's gentle.
No guarantees there, Marco. I'm so glad you could join us on tonight's show. It's exciting to have you on. We've known each other for quite some time over social media and through the cannabis community over the years. Of course, through Treating Yourself Cup. For anybody out there that possibly doesn't know who Marco is, if you're new to the industry or new to the community, Marco Renda started Treating Yourself magazine, and it evolved into the Treating Yourself Cup, which is now evolved and still takes place today under the headline banner of the Lift event that happens in Toronto every year. So if you've attended Lift, you're there thanks to Marco Renda and the Treating Yourself Cup back in the day. Now, Marco, you moved off to Mexico on us. You own Vape on the Lake. You passed that on to our friend who is no longer with us, Shane.
Let's not go there because that is false information.
Okay, all right. You passed that on and you left Vape on the Lake.
I didn't pass anything on, Kim.
Yeah,
I didn't pass anything. It was taken and sold from underneath me.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
We'll leave that alone, but you used to be involved with Vape on the Lake. You're no longer there. You moved to Mexico, but you're not gone into the woodwork by any means. You're still part of the community. You've had a very strong online presence. You have a pretty good presence down in Mexico as well. And now you're coming back to us with a brand new venture.
You could thank legalization for that and all the bullshit that's going to be putting the patients through. This legalization does not work for medical patients, period. Patients should be able to grow their medicine wherever they live. Patients should be able to use their medicine wherever they want. This is one of the main reasons I got together with London Donovan, who's been a friend of mine for many years, the person that owns it. And he says, hey, why don't you be a rep? So I have done that. I've been trying to push the market on social media, but I got a lot of trolls and haters still in the community. So I got put in Facebook jail for 3 days for promoting the product and the pricing and such. But I'm just going to be straightforward here. London Donovan is just one product that's going to be coming out that I'm going to be repping. Because of the cost factor, like the thing is that everybody's saying, well, Marco, you're going to be making a lot of money off of the patients now at these prices. I don't set the price. I just want to make something straight. I don't set the prices, but I made a promise to the owner that I'm not going to undersell what his reps are supplying the dispensaries and shops with. It's not fair to them, and then it's not fair to the shops or the owner of the company. While I was in Mexico last week, somebody who used to work for Tweed as their so-called master grower is quit last year, and He came to my house in Tulum, and we had a nice discussion. So don't be surprised if besides London Donovan, you'll be seeing a TYHH brand. So
Wow.
this way I'm going to be able to do lower cost. But again, it's cost is one thing. Like the price of retail is one thing, but you got to remember, if you're only ordering 1 or 2 pens, it's not like going to like a Costco and you're buying 50 at a time of one product. And the thing is that people from London Donovan, they're great people. They have a quality product, the best product on the market from what I understand and what I've seen. I've tested it. I've tried it. I know that you have, Kim.
Yes.
So, and I know that there's other people out there, and they can't keep up to the demand. This is how much people want their product. Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking to come into Canada once a month to do shipments. Okay. I'm still gonna be living in Mexico, but I'll be doing business. I'll be taking care of business out of Canada. I'm setting up people, hoping to set up some people to supply people, in BC, people in Ontario, if they want to do something, go around to dispensaries. I have no problem in sharing my contacts. I never have and never will have an issue. Again, I'm going to go back to this price factor here. Something that nobody is doing, that Treating Yourself Helping Hands has done from day one, is we believe in helping the patients outright. Okay. So if we know of patients such as Ryan, he's got really bad epilepsy, seizures and such like that. And if we know of valid, and when I say valid, I mean like valid people, like families that have a hard time, just if they're looking after their child back and forth to the hospital, how do you think they're going to be able to work and pay the bills? So the folks at London Donovan are working with me. I can't give away free medicine.
Right. Nobody can.
I pass the information on to them, and they help the patients directly. Right. So it's out of my hands.
TYHH, it stands for Treating Yourself Helping Hands. So this is sort of like a new branch for you that you've started now. And you're helping patients, so it's more operating, I guess, like a...
Because treating Yourself Helping Hands was around at the Forum days.
Oh, really?
And what happened was...
Well before TY Magazine.
Yeah, I was rated by the RCMP by 4 divisions of the OPP at my home in Dundalk, Ontario.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's more like something that you're revitalizing then.
Yeah, it's Treating Yourself Helping Hands 2.0. That's what I'm calling it.
Right. So you're operating more like almost like a compassion center in cooperation with some of the companies you're working with, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. There's only going to really be 2 companies. One that will give me the name brand, so I'm not going to be stepping on anyone's toes for the pricing. Right. And then there'll be the London Donovan brand. And I'll stand by both, because obviously I know who's producing the product, and I know, they're friends of mine. It's not somebody that I just met last week. Yes, we had a meeting just before I came to Toronto, but these are people that I've dealt with. It makes
a different dynamic for a company when you know the people that you're dealing with, right?
Yeah, most definitely. And the thing is that they're patients themselves.
Right.
So they understand. It's not about the almighty dollar.
That's it.
Really isn't. But bills have to be paid.
Oh,
there's a cost to producing things. So I can't just blatantly say, okay, I'll give it away for $18 when I'm paying double that.
That's right.
I'm buying it.
Yeah, we have to survive at the same time, but we can do compassionate pricing. We can make a buck, but we don't need to get rich off patients, right?
Exactly.
That's the whole idea.
And listen, I live in Mexico. I don't need to be making a whole lot of money to be, living, I already have my house. I don't pay rent, so that's not the issue. The issue is being able to cover costs. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Profit with principle.
Right.
Treating yourself has always been profit with principle. All about the patients. Patients come first, and illnesses knows no borders. So any of you listeners that are anywhere around the world, just contact me through Facebook. I'm on Facebook, and or send me an email. I'm there. It doesn't hurt.
I think Al knows more about this on a personal level from the very beginning. I mean, I was there, but I was only there as one of the other thousands of people that were wandering around, sort of aimlessly, not knowing what the hell we were doing back in those days. But Al was more intimately involved back then with that, right?
The first I ever heard about Marco was a friend of mine, Diane, and she was telling me about Marco in this forum. And how they would go to places such as the 420s in Niagara when the 420s in Niagara were the only 420s happening in Ontario.
Yeah.
And Marco would be there with his little gift bags for the patients who couldn't afford meds.
Right. And that's where it all began.
Helping people out.
You know what? You remember this, Al? I used to go to.
He was giving those
on the barriers.
He was giving that all away.
Like we were in home shows, travel shows, woman shows.
Yeah.
Long before they even heard of, marijuana, and they're saying, "What, a marijuana booth?" And we didn't just have the magazine there; we had budding plants there.
People wanted to smell them. They wanted to go up and put their fingers on them, and there was, like you said, there was budding plants. And there was one particular time we had three different strains growing, and we got the okay to trim them, and we trimmed them right there on the trade show floor.
Nice.
And the crowd was just massive. It was so deep, and
how times have changed, eh? And here we are now. 2018 legalization, and we can't have a plant.
Yeah, but things, I can talk about how that was, but I can also let you know that was in the beginning of those shows. Marco said to me one time, Al, if we gotta get to these shows that are downtown, we gotta get to these big shows.
Yeah.
Where people don't expect to get to, so we gotta clean things up, and we did them. We cleaned those things up. There was no more plants on the tables. We came dressed. You looked a little more professional in what you were doing things, and we got in those big shows. The National Women's Show, the largest one in North America. The National Home and Canada Balloon Show. Expo. Yeah, exactly.
In 2010. And that's the. And Michelle Rainey was the last.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the last I spoke to her. Was there.
Yeah.
The expo was groundbreaking. There was nothing like it around. We had press from all over the world were there.
26 countries, even Saudi Arabia.
There you go. Yeah, 26 countries.
Have you been this year or last year to Lift, Marco?
I haven't been to Lift. Never been invited. I don't know if I will support it. The only time somebody was working with them. I think they were asking me, "Well, how did you get seat sale allowed? How did you do this?" And I'm saying, you know what? I wasn't impressed with what I read about their event. I'm not, and some of these awards now they're given out like it's. I'm sorry. I don't think there's any merit behind it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything against you guys because I'm talking about some of these awards that they're doing. Like it's just fluff, like real fluff.
Yeah.
Like it's a suit show, and it's not about suits. Suits are not what made this plant. Okay, suits are what are taking over the plant and trying to make $1 billion industry and line their pockets. All these ex-politicians from the Liberal government, the Bill Blair, and all these, and McClellan there, this is conflict of interest here. They're not looking out for the individual. And let me tell you, legalization is worse than having it illegal.
Yeah.
Especially for the patients.
Yeah.
And the Attorney General saying that, she's not going to allow dispensaries. I tried telling some people that, like, listen, forget it, like, yeah, you're winning these lift awards. Yeah, you're winning this, you're winning that. You're making, but the feds make the rules and regulations, not the provinces, not the municipalities. Don't let the feds are trying to let the municipalities think that they're going to be making the rules, but trust me, it's not. Because as soon as Ford came out saying that he says that the province is no longer going to be selling, they're going to be doing the privatization. What did the Attorney General come out and say? Because they want to stop the dispensaries.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is why I'm here. This is why London Donovan is sponsoring me. That if I get busted or anything, that they will help support the legal case.
You?
Okay. Again. I get busted again.
You know, never.
No, that would never happen.
So I'm willing. Listen, I'm willing to put my neck on the line. That's what I'm doing now. I'm going back to the OTY days. The only difference is that I'm unable to do it freely. I can't give it away for free. Like the old TY days, we gave away thousands of packs of free seeds a week.
Yeah.
The old TY days, we were shipping out 85% of the meds that went out was shipped out for free. Yeah. And that is why I won my court case. Too.
Yeah.
That's why I won my court case against the guy. What happened was I got a big stack of letters from patients from all over the world of who I helped. There was patients from the U.S., from California, even from a professor in California who was a legal patient down there. And what I charged was at that time was $150 an ounce, same price as what Health Canada was charging. But the difference was I wasn't sending out collection agencies after the patients if they couldn't pay.
Yeah.
You see? So that's what our motto was, that, okay, those who could afford to pay paid $150 an ounce. Those who couldn't afford to pay got it for free. Yeah. 85% of the packages that went out were free. One of those letters just happened to be from the next door neighbor and best friend of the residing judge on my case. The Crown made him remove himself because now it's a conflict, right? And so no judge in Ontario would take the case on. The Justice Department told the Crown, you better find a way to either drop this case or make some sort of deal, because you're not going to win it. Not with this guy. I have a good legal team, but when I didn't go around begging people for money to pay my legal bills. Not like some flake in BC that goes around, I'll speak in your town, just pay my way. I don't have to tell you who I'm talking. You guys probably know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So like, I cause waves. Sure, I cause waves also within the industry, but that's to shake things up, to get the snakes out of the grass, to try and do things for the right reason. Okay, it's about helping people, not about screwing people. Excuse it. That's
all right. You're allowed to medicate and use.
It's all good.
It's all good.
You can use foul language. We can even say, "Oh fuck."
So it's my passion. My passion is back.
Yeah,
my passion got lost. My passion got lost because of all the things I was getting ripped off on, from patients taking advantage. Even so like I have to redo. That's why it's a 2.0. So now I'm making it clear. You want this is the suggested retail price. But I didn't say that I won't work with you, but I'm not going to give it for free.
That's right.
Every time people contact me and say, "Yeah, I'll work with you," I said, "I'll do my best price I can, but it's not going to be for free."
Well, I'm certainly glad that your passion is back, Marco. It's fantastic to see you out here again. I've got so much that I want to talk to you about London Donovan and so much more, and what's going on in your life. But I think we're headed to break.
Yes, okay. We are. I was just waiting to jump. In there.
You gotta pay. Hey, you gotta pay for the airtime somehow.
Gotta pay for the bill. That's right. These things don't come cheap. All right, tonight's our bumper music is by two different artists. We're going to have one artist for the first commercial break, and we're going to have a second artist in the second commercial break. And Marco, the reason I'm sort of doing that is because I know of two songs that are sort of, I'm going to call them connected or related to you, to treating yourself. So I'm going to include both of them in this. So for the first break, we're going to hear some music by Andy Sagal, and we're going to hear a bit of a song called Treat Yourself. And then Kim and I will continue our talk with Marco Renda. You're listening to the award-winning Pace Radio Show here on lifestyleradio.net.
Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. If you want to. Treat yourself. If you need to. When you work real hard in the sun all day, your body ache, it won't go away. Doctor, doctor, what do I need? A little visit from my girl Mary. Treat yourself if you want to.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Are you looking for cannabis news, education, and people's opinions? Are you looking to learn what Canadian and international cannabis advocates are doing? Not only now, but what got them to this point in their lives, and what does the future hold for them? Do you want to learn how patients are using cannabis as their daily medication, or learn how their cannabis use helps them with their medical condition? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I'm going to suggest to you to tune in to Lifestyle Radio. Catch their live weekly shows and have your questions and concerns answered and find the experience you're looking for. Monday, catch your weekly news broadcast with the Reef Reporters. Then on Wednesday, get several hours worth of cannabis public education. We get things started with Cannabis and Coffee with Tamarawana. Then tune in and catch Pottawa with Russell Barth, who calls himself the world's angriest pothead. Finish up your evening with the award-winning Pace Radio Show with Al Graham and joint host Kim Cooper and Alicia Yashishin. No week would be complete without tuning into Friday night's program, the 420 Radio Show, featuring Al Rapp and the 420 Radio crew, Mary Jane Baker and Marcel Gignac. Cannabis is a lifestyle, and you can catch all your cannabis lifestyle information right here at lifestyleradio.net or at our sister site, 420radio.ca. The 5th Annual Karma Cup Cannabis Festival and Industry Trade Show is an elite medical cannabis, hash, edibles, topical, and heady glass competition. It also includes live music, speakers, glass marketplace, vendor village, exhibitors, and much more. Hand-picked judges evaluate many categories including bud, extract, CBD products, and disposable vape pens. This outdoor, rain or shine event will be held in downtown Toronto on September the 8th and 9th, but its secret location won't be released until September the 7th at 4:20 p.m. via social media. The Karma Cup was founded in 2013 by Sarah Sunday in order to create a cannabis-positive space for growers, producers, business owners, industry experts, and their fans in order to gather and judge the country's best cannabis and cannabis products on an even playing field. Please join us, be part of Canada's largest ticketed Cannabis Pride Festival, the 5th Annual Karma Cup Cannabis Festival and Industry Trade Show on September the 8th and 9th in downtown Toronto. For more information, please go to thekarmacup.com.
Man,
have you been to Canada's yet? Canada's, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck and wholesaler Nexus. Canada's. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Canada's can help. They're a PACE information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Canada's. Have your say without saying a word. Canada's.ca.
Treat yourself. Free the flower, grow the seed. It fights sickness and it combats disease. The only thing to treat me properly is a visit from my little girl named Mary. Don't you wanna self-medicate with me? I see the smiling faces when they feel I breathe. So you see, it's time to legalize it, yeah. Go on and treat yourself if you want to.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Hey, we're back. It's the Pace Radio Show, and we are live here at lifestyleradio.net. And if you missed the live shows, don't forget you can catch our podcasts, which are available at YouTube, Mixcloud, iTunes, and North American-wide on iHeartRadio. I'd also like to remind you that to tune into the 420 Radio Show this week, Al and the crew have patient advocate and business owner Justin Lauzes of Just Compassion and lawyer Jack Lloyd as their guests on the program. Wonder what we're going to talk about. and I do say we because I'll be joining them as well. Yeah, I will be there tonight, on Friday night with Al and the gang and talking to Jack and Justin. Awesome. Tonight on our program, Kim, we got our guest Marco Renda of London Donovan, don't we?
Yes, we do. And I want to dive right into London Donovan. Now, I've had the pleasure of meeting these guys. And you're right. They're a great group of guys, Marco. I was very impressed by them. Their appearance, their knowledge, and just their stand on how they feel about all of this. I was able to spend the weekend with them at another event called the Indigenous Cannabis Cup that took place back in May outside Belleville in Tyendinaga territory at Smoke Signals. And London Donovan had a booth there. I also attended one of the seminars that was hosted that weekend, and the boys from London Donovan explained Distill It and the process of making them in great detail. What an impressive group of guys.
Yeah, they're great, and they're compassionate.
Yeah, very, very compassionate. I was very impressed by them and their whole attitude behind it and where the direction that they want to take the company. Not to mention their product. Wow, really good.
Oh, yeah. I love the diamond sauce.
I got to say, I haven't had a chance to do that one yet, but I did try their shatter and I did try their Distill It. Now, for background on me for you, Marco, I'm a big user of Distill It. I suffer from chronic pain from a car injury, a car accident where I injured my back and I have a broken back. So chronic pain is a real big issue for me. And Distill It works the best for my chronic pain when I have spasms. I'm a huge fan of another company that I will not mention because I tout their product all over the place and have for the past 2 years. But then I tried London Donovan's Distill It. And it was the very first time in 2 years that I think I found a product comparable and possibly better than the one I have been using for 2 years.
And probably a better price point as well.
I'm not going to speak to that. I'm a loyalist, Marco, but these guys are pulling me. They really are.
Well, let me tell you something. Have you tried their CBD tincture?
No, not yet.
You should. You should. If next time you see them, ask them to try their tincture. They have, and this is what's going on. I'll give you a little background. Amber McIntyre contacted me about seeing if I could help a patient in the prairies there, and I contacted the 16-year-old's mother. Her name is Jackie, and her son's name is Ryan. He's in really bad shape. They've been trying to use all the different kinds of products and stuff like that, and nothing really is truly working. Or let's face it, nothing is. If it works one time, it might not work the next because they're not being consistent on how they're making their product. Okay, I hear this a lot of times. Now, I contacted my friends at London Donovan, and they asked me to send them the labels and stuff to see the formulas and what they've been using, such. So what they've done, on Monday, they shipped out CBD, tincture, and THC distillate but droplets, tinctures, okay? Because they have the distillate also as an oil, okay? To drop a sublingual.
Yeah, under the tongue sort of
under the tongue, yeah. And so they said, look, it's best for the parents to try and see what works. Because if they make a batch and it doesn't work, it's a waste of time. But if they could control, they could do their own experiments with the separate CBD and separate THC distillate. Yeah. And then they could see, okay, 1 drop of this, 2 drops of this, or 2 drops of this, 1 drop. This is the only way. Listen, when you go to a doctor, what does the doctor do? The doctor tells you, okay, here's a prescription for drugs. And okay, if this doesn't work, just come back and I'll give you a stronger, right?
Yeah. Take 1. If that doesn't work, take 2.
Yeah. So this is not. This is in a way. This isn't any real different. But the difference is here is that it's not costing the family a dime to try an experiment. Yeah. Using their product. Okay.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I haven't made any sales yet, but they're shipping out free medicine.
That's it. But okay. I mean, if it works for the kid, though, and if it winds up working for the child or for the patient, whatever the patient is,
word will get around.
That's right. Word will get around, and they'll come back to you and say, "Hey, thank you for that sample. We got our dose now. It works. Now we need to order."
Yeah.
Right.
And if they can't afford it, I know the folks in London Donovan, if they can't afford it, like to buy it, they'll work on the price point with them. They don't have to make money off of patients that are that sick.
Compassionate.
Like they're children. Children can't go out and buy their medicine. Children can't go out and work. And then when you got, I think it's Mandy, her son, she was getting from Bedrocan their oil, and then they stopped making it.
Yeah.
And now she hasn't been able to find any. So I've reached out to her as well to send me the label of the bottle. She hasn't done that yet. So I guess once we'll see what happens. But I'm there to help.
This is a big issue,
help.
Right?
And so is London Donovan. I'm there to put London Donovan's name on the map of how I put treating yourself. And as a group of true compassionate people working towards helping.
Yeah.
Not just the almighty dollar. The almighty dollar comes at the end. It'll come along. But you don't have to make it off people that are that sick.
Yeah, these guys have got the product, but they've also got the attitude to go along where they're patient oriented. They're not after the buck, but they've also got the excellent top grade product to go along with that attitude, not a second rate product.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know that they like I said, they got a new rep now in Quebec, and that rep is at all the shows. And he used to he reps a couple other companies, but from what he's now London Donovan is his top brand, and the other two could go by the wayside for all he cares.
Yeah.
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 You know, and it's when you have quality, okay, and at a proper price point. That's
Right.
the thing.
That's right.
Yeah, and being willing to assist patients, because I've seen that posted online several times over social media. For example, Chris Enns, from Pharmacist down there in Nova Scotia, he's commented like, is there an LP out there that's willing to give free meds to my dire need cancer patients, and I'll shut down my business as long as I know those patients are getting, free medication.
And this is a big issue because we're not seeing the legal producers and the government and all of the rest of the legal ones, the legal avenues, that none of them are stepping up in this fashion. And like Marco mentioned, we even have patients that get onto a medicine, it works for them, and then all of a sudden it's discontinued. They've just decided out of the blue to no longer manufacture that product anymore. You don't see that happen in the pharmaceutical industry. Why is it happening in this industry? And what happens to the patients that rely on that? There's nobody picking up the ball except the so-called black market.
Right. Or the guys like Dutland and Donovan. They're willing to pick up the ball and they're willing to run with it. But this is the problem here, Kim, is that legalization and LPs, okay? They're just shareholders and stuff. All they care about is the almighty dollar. They don't care about the end user, okay?
Yeah.
They break the rules. Look at all the marketing that they're doing, and they're not supposed to be doing any kind of commercial marketing, but they're doing it. Okay.
Right.
They're not supposed to be having celebrities, and they got celebrities, right?
Yeah. Well, when you're a big corporation like that, the little spanking and slap on the wrist fine that you get is a drop in the bucket compared to the profit you made.
Now
from
you got
that
a booze company that owns now 40% of Canopy Grove.
Yeah. That's great, eh? Let's mix the booze in there now.
Okay, so now here's a big problem. Privatization. If you have a shop like craft brewers, there should be able to have craft cannabis growers.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't just be LPs. Sure, you can be a licensed producer, but as a craft and dealing with that, and let the patients choose. For the government wants to take away the medical permits. Like, come on now, hold on a second here. Just because doctors, it's legal now, so you don't need a permit. Oh no,
CMA,
no.
CMA saying that.
Yeah. No, that's not right. This is what I'm saying. It's lit a fire under my ass, and they don't know. They just awoken the dragon again.
Yeah.
And
you sound full of vinegar.
Huh?
You sound like you're full of vinegar.
I'm here to help, and I want to help patients worldwide.
Well,
I got patients in the U.S. already contacted me. Old TY members from the TY forums. They remember the Helping Hands days. Kim, we didn't just supply medicine. We sent money for them to be able to fix their vehicle so they could make it to their doctor's appointment. We sent money and bought them, water heaters so they have hot water for their homes. It was about the how they live. If you're sick, you need hot water. You need heat.
It isn't
you need
just
to get
about
to
the
your
meds.
doctor.
It's about life.
It's not just about meds. It's about life, having a quality of life. And that's treating yourself. Helping Hands was about making sure people had a good quality of life, Yeah. And I'm sorry, but I don't see a lot of dispensaries out there going and doing what TYHH did. Yeah. I don't.
No.
So it's, there might be some that are helping a few here and there, but the majority aren't.
No.
The
It's about the money.
And listen, in a way, I couldn't care less if they don't get a permit. I really don't. Because their prices aren't compassionate.
Yeah.
Okay? In the days, now you probably remember this, when we used to be able to have DGs growing, okay?
Yeah.
I went out and I interviewed DGs, and the only way that they would get licensed, there was people selling licenses left, right, and center. Okay, DGs that were buying licenses. I wasn't selling licenses. The only cost to the DG is to make sure that they supplied quality medicine to their patient for free. Otherwise, they don't get my patient.
Right.
Yeah. I remember that, and
right.
you know, the DG program has had its ups, and unfortunately, I think it's had its downs too. But
Yeah, there's far
there
too
are
many of them.
patients that, well, there's been.
Well,
It's just
like
because
too
I
many
ran
of
into
the black sheep, or the black wolves, or whatever
Yeah,
you
we're
call it. You know, they're
yeah.
ripping patients off
There
and
was
throwing
there
bad meds.
yeah, there was good ones by by all means. There were some really good ones out there that look after their patients, but there was
I've
some
been with
that
my DG for 7 years.
nice.
You're lucky you
Good.
found a good one, Marco. I want to go back and I want to touch on something that we kind of it touched on a little bit through the conversations here. We've talked about governments and patients' rights being lost with legalization, and the CMA announcement that has recently come out saying, well, we shouldn't really have to prescribe it anymore. You see this going back to court, right, Marco?
Yeah, I plan on taking it back to court.
Explain this to us. Give us an overview of your view.
Because I'm gonna go full force selling London Donovan and just going and I'll do it so hard and fast that they're only gonna come down on me and take me to court. I plan. I know eventually I'll get busted again. No problem. It's not like it'll be the first time or the second. Okay?
Yeah, and
or the third.
It all goes back to HITSIG, right?
Well, yeah, HITSIG goes back to HITSIG, and in trueness, HITSIG was the original case that made it legal for med patients. Okay,
yeah,
we crucified Anne McClellan on that one, and not only that, we won. They appealed the decision, and we won the appeal in the Ontario Supreme Court. Okay, yeah. Anybody could Google HITSIG, Marco Renda treating yourself, court cases. It'll come up. And then you have people that, okay, there's been other cases afterwards. The Allard decision was great, but the person that's trying to take the credit for the Allard, he calls us a dinosaur and that we had nothing to do with, today's a different story. Well, no. If there was no HITSIG, you wouldn't have any cases.
HITSIG opened the door for Allard, right?
Right from Parker on, all the cases have all been important. They've all been
an evolution for sure.
Correct. Yes. They're all part of the history.
I'm not trying to take credit for being the be all end all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's other people that has done. Some of these new people that are coming on, well, I can't say they're new because they've been around, but they're just because now they pushed the coalition and the coalition won with the Allard.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so it's not about them.
Yeah,
again,
that's right.
The court case isn't about one individual. The court case is about patients across Canada. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about everyone, and everyone's right. And no government has a right to tell its citizens what they should and shouldn't be putting in their bodies, especially when they're just collecting thousands upon, I should say millions of dollars from tobacco companies, from alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. Why should they be treating cannabis any differently? If you're going to be making alcohol legal, and prohibition in a long time ago, cannabis needs to be like alcohol. Okay, sure, there should be age restrictions. I'm not saying there shouldn't be. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any rules, because there should be rules in place. You need to have things in place.
Yeah.
But when you have the government giving out license to produce to these major corporations, and they continue to poison the patients, and then say, well, we'll do a recall. What, a year later?
Yeah,
what patient do you know is going to be holding the product for a year?
Yeah, especially at the prices they charge, right? We're lucky if we can make it last us a month.
So this is the whole thing. Like, there's so many inconsistencies with how the government, they're trying to force things down your throat, but at the same time, they're in bed with these guys.
Yeah.
Because they're all politicians or ex-politicians or ex-cops that they've worked together.
Yeah.
Suits. I used to be in a suit. I know, I used to wear suits all the time.
Yeah, that's right. You can relate, right? But that kind of ties into what you were saying earlier about, the awards kind of thing being just a show. Because the company, one of the companies with that major recall that poisoned patients and had a recall a year later and is now being sued.
An award.
Won the award for best company. So, and they've got a class action lawsuit pending against them for poisoning patients. So, I mean, that kind of says it all there, right?
That's why we need to have control.
Yeah.
And when I say we, it's like, okay, I'm talking about patients here. Okay. I'm not talking about recreational because, recreation, it's, let them go and fend for themselves. They didn't bring it to this level.
That's right.
Patients did. Patients opened the door and the only reason is because the government is fed up of losing their shirts in court cases.
Yeah.
Because every single case that went to court, they lost.
So they had to do something so that they would stop losing, and legalization was the way around it for them.
Yeah, but they did it wrong. Because
they sure did.
Now, these LPs, so-called LPs, now, they're concentrating on the recreational market. What happens to the patients here? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, well, I know patients right now that they run out of the strain at the LP, and they can't keep a proper strain and supply for patient use at the moment, because when patients get used to one strain, they want to order it regularly, and it's like you've got to sit there on the computer and watch for it to pop up 24/7 and get it before it runs out. If we're already dealing with that now, what's going to happen when we're supplying recreational too? How are we supposed to be able to manage the influx of people?
Just remember one thing. The very first licensed producer was who? Prairie Plant.
Prairie Plant system.
In the mines.
Yeah. Okay. Remember that swag coming out of there? That bag of
I had it.
Oh my God.
I opened it up looking for buds.
Oh my God.
And there wasn't any. It was all milled. It was just
milled sticks and stalks, and oh fuck me, it was terrible.
12.5% THC was on the bag. I got a couple bags at home.
Yeah.
Try and listen. One of the patients I helped, because I used to send out seeds galore. I got together with the breeders in Holland, and they used to give me their not their best quality because they're not a strain that they would sell, right?
Right.
Like they wouldn't sell that quality, but they'll donate it, right, to somebody because somebody's not going to complain if they're just getting it for free, right?
That's right.
As long as it's effective, yeah.
Well, no, I shouldn't say something. Nobody's going to complain if it's free because there's always somebody complaining about something.
Okay, I should jump in here and we should go for break.
Okay. All right. We're there already. Okay.
Yeah. Time for commercial break.
Time flies when you're having fun.
That's right. Okay. This time we're going to hear from another band which is connected to TY, and this band has played at the Expo. This time we're going to hear from the Killing Time Band.
That's who I knew it.
You knew it, eh? Yeah. Some good memories with them, I'm sure you have.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and we're going to hear a song called An Ounce of Goodness, which I understand was connected to the Expo.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm told, yeah. So when we return, Kim and I will continue our conversation with Marco, and you're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at lifestyleradio.net.
Hey, this is Cheech. And this is Chong. And you're listening to Lifestyle Radio. What is it? Lifestyle Radio. Say it one more time. 420 Radio? Ooh.
you're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Least expected. Oh, the greatest gift of all. Ounce of goodness handed out to one and all.
Man, have you been to Canada's yet? Canada's, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck and wholesaler Nexus. Canada's. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Canada's can help. They're a PACE information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Canada's. Have your say without saying a word. Canada's.ca.
Hi, this is Al Graham of the Pace Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the Pace Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on lifestyleradio.ca. The 5th Annual Karma Cup Cannabis Festival and Industry Trade Show is an elite medical cannabis, hash, edibles, topical, and heady glass competition. It also includes live music, speakers, glass marketplace, vendor village, exhibitors, and much more. Hand-picked judges evaluate many categories including bud, extract, CBD products, and disposable vape pens. This outdoor, rain or shine event will be held in downtown Toronto on September the 8th and 9th, but its secret location won't be released until September the 7th at 4:20 p.m. via social media. The Karma Cup was founded in 2013 by Sarah Sunday in order to create a cannabis-positive space for growers, producers, business owners, industry experts, and their fans in order to gather and judge the country's best cannabis and cannabis products on an even playing field. Please join us, be part of Canada's largest ticketed Cannabis Pride Festival, the 5th Annual Karma Cup Cannabis Festival and Industry Trade Show on September the 8th and 9th in downtown Toronto. For more information, please go to thekarmacup.com.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Hey, welcome back to the Pace Radio Show, and thanks for tuning in. Tonight's bumper music was by Andy Sagal and the Killer Tiny Band, and we got to hear a bit of Treat Yourself and another one called An Ounce of Goodness. if you enjoy these songs, I suggest that you look them up on YouTube or on the web. You'll find them out there. Killing Time Band is killingtimeband.com. I know that one. All right, tonight on the program we have our guest Marco Renda of London Donovan Extracts and my joint host Northern Ontario Kim Cooper. All right, Kim, we've talked about TY, we've talked about Expos. I know we could probably have 3 more shows worth of information we could talk about with Marco, but we've only got 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I mean, I could go on with Marco for days. That's
the glass. You know,
that's for sure. But I got an idea on where we're gonna go. Maybe at the start of the show, you and I had the conversation about the Ontario announcement and Ontario laws. We never really got into that with Marco, and I'm curious to hear what he's got to say about the ever-evolving situation in Ontario and Mr. Doug Ford's latest announcement. Marco, you're all about patient rights and everything. What do you think of the latest announcement for consumption in Ontario?
Wow, I got a lot to say about that. I've been debating about actually contacting Doug Ford and asking him to make me the Doug Czar of Ontario. Who's better to be, regulating and showing who should be there and who shouldn't be, Because I know the real players and I in some ways, listen, Doug Ford reminds me of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people.
But Doug Ford in the old days in high school, he used to sell hash.
Right. He did.
And his brother, the rest of his piece. He was a crackhead, just like me. So it was okay. But no, in all seriousness, there needs to be something in place. Okay, there needs to be. Okay, I understand smoke-free Ontario and all this other stuff, but let's face it. Anyone who is going to be working in a vapor lounge isn't going to worry about people smoking cannabis or vaping cannabis or doing dabs of extracts.
Do you think that they would require the place to be vape only? And I know in Toronto you can go to some of the big places like the Hot Box and Vapor Central, and people can consume cannabis in several different ways. But you think regulation would force them to maybe just vaporize?
Well, I'm more concerned of them shutting them down altogether and patients not having a place to go.
Well,
the way they're wording it is they're saying in your home only, right?
Listen, if people go to bars, do they not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And kids are now allowed in bars, right?
No.
Yes, I'm sure they are.
Not after 9 o'clock.
Oh, really?
I understand. Yeah.
Oh, but if they serve food, they could be in there.
Well, if they serve food, they can be in there. Yes, that's right. If it's a tavern, like a restaurant tavern, then the kid can go in.
90% of the vapor lounges in Toronto are all in the downtown core.
Yeah.
Vape on the Lake was the only one in the West End.
Yeah, that's right.
My biggest hurdle was overcoming not the feds or the provincial PCs, okay? Because the provincial PC, I went to his office and I spoke with him before I even opened up. But you got the local municipal Doug Grimes, I call him Grimy.
Yeah.
He was totally against me opening up the vapor lounge. He says, I'll shut you down. I couldn't get a variance. I still opened up. We were running for 4 years.
Where were you located to his office?
Well, it used to be right across the street from his old campaign office.
You're not allowed to do this. Okay, I'm going to open up across the street.
But that was, I didn't do it on purpose. That was the only landlord I found, because I tried to open up on Bloor Street right by a subway stop, accessibility for patients and stuff, right?
Yes, that was a big priority for you when it came to picking a location was access for patients.
Yeah, right. You got to be able to get there.
Right, okay. One of the issues with the hot box in the earlier days, they had to go downstairs to the basement to go to the washroom.
Right.
So none of the landlords on Bloor Street would rent to me. No, but I found this guy, Greek family, that they had the same mentality as me. Excuse the expression. Fuck the government. Fuck them and their bullshit. We pay our taxes. Who the fuck are they to tell us how to run our business or who we can have as tenants?
Right.
So he rented to me. He gave me a 3-year lease to start right off the bat.
Wow,
and I told him, look, I'm going to renovate your whole place. And I put in all new wiring. I put in everything
big washroom. You put in big
washrooms for men and women. And I kept getting hit with they comply. You're not complying. They says I says what? I says they tried to say that I was a restaurant because we had tables and chairs, but there was no kitchen there. But there were tables and chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every patio is a restaurant then, is it?
Yeah. So I said, okay, then make me a social club. Oh no, there's no such thing as that anymore in our area. You have to, and then so they said to me, well, we're going to keep you as a restaurant, and because you sell pop. Well, so what? All I sell is pop and juice. You're vaping, you need to have, and water. You need to have something to drink, And I said, okay.
No food, just liquids. The store next door, I'm sure that they're monthly.
They were making a kill. They loved us. The cops used to keep coming to them because that area was full of hookers and junkies, okay? There used to be a little phone booth right outside between the lounge and the variety store, just a little strip, right? And there'd be people ordering drugs right on there. And the variety store used to get, since we opened up, he had no more issues with junkies or hookers and stuff like that around there. Not that they're having any hookers, they got to make a living too. But it's the junkie ones, the ones that are going after the crack and after the heroin and stuff and bringing bad issues around, right?
Yeah. It's funny, they disappear, right? When the hippies and the potheads move in, they disappear.
Yeah. So what happened was the cops kept going next door to the variety store. How's your neighbor? You having any problems? And he would talk us up like, he says, this is the best thing that ever happened in this neighborhood. So they left us alone. The cops left us alone. Except when they got rookies in, how do you think they got hazed? They were sent, they says, oh, we heard there's a marijuana lounge. Better go check it out. Right? But I already had spoken to I said, did Sergeant so-and-so put you up to this? I said, he's been here. He knows what we do. We don't sell anything. And they just look at each other and think, oh, we've been punked.
Yeah, punked.
The only time we ever had any issues was when we had the TY Expo. And we used to have after-hour parties sometimes over there at the lounge, And we had one night Remo was there, and we had the guys from Holland that were promoting their joint rolling machine. And we had Mark from Cush CA there. We had the boys from Greenhouse there. And we hotboxed the whole, how big the lounge was.
Yeah.
You couldn't see from the back to the front. That was before we had a wall. So it got loud because of the music, right? The police came around at 4:00 in the morning. You guys going to wrap it up anytime soon? And he said, yeah, we're just closing up now. But it's never been raided or got busted. Never. When I was running it, owning it, never, ever.
Yeah, from what I recall, you even invited the police to come look at the place when you first opened up.
Yeah. So I wanted them to know who they're dealing with and what we are about. And he says, you don't sell anything here? We said, no, it's people consume their own. And they says, well, what's with all the TVs and stuff like that? I says, well, because, we have, we watch sports or people bring their Game Boys and stuff and they hook them up to the TVs and they're playing. And he says, what? And he says, you got a stage? I said, yeah, we have comedy nights. We have, we have bands come in and play. And he says, wow. He says, so they saw that when you invite them in, it's totally different than when you're trying to keep them out. We had nothing to hide.
Open door.
The open door policy. The only people that had an issue with us was Grimy.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that was his personal deal too, and that's all that it was.
Yet he's a drunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
His kids are do drugs. Yet 3 doors away from me there was a rub and tug.
Yeah. And that was okay though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay though. That's allowed, right? That's allowed.
Yeah.
So now Marco, with this new stance with no public consumption in Toronto, you're supposed to only do it in your home. That's also going to be problematic for patients in the future. I know myself as a patient, when I go to Toronto, I look forward going to the lounges because when I'm shopping on Yonge Street, I need a place to stop and consume. I'd much rather go inside a lounge than just stand on the street corner and do it. Do you think that if they do hit the lounges and try and shut them down, that would be cause for like a patient challenge?
Oh, for sure. Because I'm going to tell you why. It's not just a lounge thing, and I'm going to tell you why. Because now they're getting all the landlords and the rental boards and stuff like that.
Condos.
Are saying no consumption in condos, no consumption in where you live.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where are you supposed to consume? You're allowed to buy this product legally, but you can't use it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, could you just imagine if you still lived in Toronto at the condo where you were living at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might not even be able to. They would. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the Marina Del Rey when we did before everybody went to the march? They marched down the Marina Del Rey driveway, and we had a party at the in the lounge over at my condo there.
Yes,
Drove everybody nuts in the complex. He says, there's a protest. No. It's just one of the owners is having a party with all his friends. And he says there's no consumption of cannabis inside that lounge area, right? I said, no problem, right? But when it was I had my condo, and then across the street in the same Marina Del Rey in the other building, I had for a year I had an office for treating yourself there.
Correct.
And the expo there.
Yes.
And we used to smoke on the balcony overlooking Lake Ontario.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember we were doing all the stuff for the TY Cup, all the
stuffing, all the
Yes. I met Sarah Sanders during that, and who now has the Karma Cup. So
Karma Cup every year. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that this year. That comes up, and actually, the Karma Cup kits go out on Friday. Yeah.
No, do they? So yeah. So Marco, did you ever think? We talked at the beginning there that you had the forum. It was just like as far as the technology then wasn't watts, right? As far as the internet end of things. But did you ever think that would grow into basically at one time you had 5 businesses?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy. We had the Treating Yourself magazine, the Treating Yourself Cup, the Treating Yourself Expo. We had the Glass Culture magazine. We had the Not Just Marbles and Vape on the Lake.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was running all of that by myself. And then I had volunteers come in. And that's how I met you, Al. You came as a volunteer. You came in, and then, Al helped me with getting other volunteers in to help at the expo. The volunteers, okay, they didn't get paid cash, but they were given a nice gift every year. And even the
Marco,
people...
I still use mine as a demonstration item as well as use it from the 2010 expo. And that was when you gave all the patients who assisted, you gave them a choice of a volcano vaporizer. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice. Well, I mean, the appreciation is there for sure. Marco, you have done some fantastic things over the years. You took
But
a small
I've had
break.
help from other patients. I didn't do it by myself.
Absolutely.
I can't take all the credit.
Absolutely.
Al was a really big help to me, and he even helped in the magazine with his writing and such, so thank you, Al. That's been great.
Yeah.
Al,
and I mean, so
you got the very first and the only Michelle Rainey Award that TY ever gave out.
That's what I do, and it's part of my. It's in my signature and all my emails.
That's awesome.
It's mentioned in there.
That's
Yeah.
But
And
you did take a small break, and I understand that the weight of it all, it gets heavy and it gets tiring, and sometimes we get burnt out. And I'm just thrilled that you are back and you're repping such a great company, London Donovan.
The guys at London Donovan, I can't stop but do nothing but praise them and say, they're the real deal. They're not, fly-by-night flakes. They're not the suits. They're the real deal. And they know what they're talking about, and they know quality.
Awesome. Well, I can speak to their distillate products for sure. Excellent. Clean, and does the trick. And the boys, they're very, very impressive young men for sure.
I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that.
Now, do they get involved in any of these cup challenges or any of these?
Yeah.
Like you go to these Karma Cup, Sarah's event there, and you'll see some different extract companies there.
You'll see them there. They'll be at Karma Cup.
At the Karma Cup.
Oh,
good. Good.
I'm excited. Oh, good.
Yes.
I've already talked to Sandra and Sarah, and I told her, I'll put in a word with the boys that, because she said, well, they've been thinking and they've been talking. They says, can you put another word in for us? I says, yeah, no problem. See, the thing is, I don't see Sarah or anybody else putting on expos as a detriment, because what I see is that I was one of the first, and that can't be taken away from me. The only thing was, I just wish that Lyft would be more, how do I say this in a professional manner?
Patient.
Be more constructive towards the patient's rights.
Yep.
And offering, look, we had the railroad tracks. That place was this party upon parties at the convention center there. That railing there, that was full.
Oh, out back.
Yeah, out back.
Oh, that balcony.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Yeah. There was meetings out there. There would be advocates would actually, get to meet other advocates that they've only talked to online out there.
Yeah, a lot of these other festivals and events like Lyft, they become corporate, but I think Karma is still grassroots.
Well,
but the only thing I have is that I'm not a fan of doing the way they're doing it.
Well, would you say TY Expo was more like grassroots based? It was it was the advocates, it was the craft people.
I could probably understand why Sarah's doing it outdoors and doing it where she's doing it and stuff like that, because the convention center is very expensive. The hiring of the unions just over the 4 years that I had at Treating Yourself Expo, I lost well over $2.5 million.
Wow.
Ooh.
Each show cost me over $600,000 to put on.
Wow.
That first show was just huge. You had everything then, man.
And people forget, the expo, I brought in the glass people.
You did.
I had smoking at the convention center where nobody thought it would be done. I had a vapor lounge that was this huge that nobody thought will be done. I had seed companies there. I had seed companies there selling their seeds. Nobody thought it could be done. I did it all. I did it. I fought with I went to the meetings at the convention center. I went to meetings with their lawyers. And so for Lyft to come and ask me, how did you do it? Who did you contact? I says, go and do your own homework.
That's right.
You didn't ask me to help you, and then when the year the following year after TY stopped, then it became the Champs Expo.
Champs,
okay?
Correct, yeah.
And they burned me, and that's why I got a bad taste in my mouth after that. You see? Because I helped them, I got them the vendors, and I helped them to how to do it and everything, and I got burned big time. So, I did I was supposed to have the cup, and they just there's a lot of things that, you have to look at what went on through all the cups and everything. And what happened at the very last cup was with Champs, and it was a disaster.
Champs didn't even have a cannabis leaf on their T-shirts.
No, they didn't.
They didn't want to have anything. Didn't seem like it. And then you couldn't buy anything there. It was more like a show. And when it came to buying anything, you had to wait till Sunday because they didn't want to lose it off the shelf.
So this is the thing, if Lyft wants to touch it up a notch, I'm available for hire, but I don't come cheap.
There you go. Marco Renda, available for hire and also available for your needs with London Donovan extracts. It's been fantastic chatting with you tonight, Marco. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us. I wish we had more time, but I think we're pretty much at shout out, right?
We're at the shout out time.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to all patients across Canada. Keep fighting for your rights, folks. You got a warrior back on your team.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
And how can people get a hold of London Donovan products, Marco?
Well, they can get a hold of it through me, through my Facebook page, Marco Renda, Not Just Marbles, or they could send me a direct email, M for Marco, and then Renda, R-E-N-D-A, and then numbers 2503. So Renda 2503 at AOL.com.
There we go. Get a hold of Marco, and you can talk to him about, your patient needs. You can talk to him about London Donovan, or chew the fat about TY Days.
Oh yeah, I could choose fat for hours and stuff. Things that we used to do and experiences. Especially if I was sitting at home and I had my photo albums, like on the computers. Yeah.
Just go through them. Yeah.
Like the time that they made us move because of the smell.
Yeah.
or the time that the lady beside us complained about the smell of the volcano vaporizer that we were using and demonstrating right there on the show floor. and she complained to the management that the odor was making her customers feel nauseated. Now, this lady's booth, it was nail polish remover. What do you think was making them feel nauseated?
And the show manager, the owner of the show, he loved his bud, so he didn't want to move us.
Yeah. One year they put us in the garden section because the critical mass plant stunk so much, and they made us put a garbage bag on it, so we're cutting holes in it so it can breathe, right?
That did a lot to contain the smell, I'm sure. Awesome.
Yeah, we had some good times. We had a lot of people that were really supportive of what we were doing by coming out and speaking openly and in the public like that. Because we could literally just stand there and hand out brochures because there was just so many people that were attending the home shows, and people would walk by us, and you get into conversations and that it was just it was massive, and
we gave out magazines galore. It wasn't about money. We weren't selling magazines. We weren't selling subscriptions. We were just there to give information.
Thousands of them every show. We were giving them away. Latest issues. So spread the knowledge. It was all about educating the uneducated, and
that's right. And we're continuing to do that today. Spread the education.
Correct. Exactly. And just so you know,
I'm proud of you guys for treating yourself what we were doing.
Yep. Treating Yourself magazine is still spreading the education. And I was still handing out magazines last weekend.
That's right. They were on our table at Tyendinaga, and we had Treating Yourself magazine.
Well, you probably have another year's worth of all that chocolate you took.
I do. But I still share them. I still share them with about a dozen businesses.
Yeah. I have them at my events as well.
Yeah.
So
they're still educating people. 5 years after the last issue was published.
I was hoping to come up to Sarah's Karma Cup, but because of my immigration issues in Mexico, I got to stay in Mexico until I get my paperwork renewed. Because I am no longer going to be I'm not applying for temporary visa anymore. It's being changed to permanent resident.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'll be able to work in Mexico without a work visa.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. That'll make life simpler for you down there.
Oh, just give me more headaches. Because legalization down there is just around the corner. But that's a better way. I'm already working with doctors down there, so.
Excellent.
Nice. We'll have to touch on that. We'll have to have you back and find out what is happening in Mexico.
Yeah, we'll have a focus on Mexico.
Yeah.
After it becomes legal, please.
Okay, we can do that. All righty. Okay, Kim, have you got a shout out?
Yeah, I'm going to give a quick shout out to my close personal friend, Tim Barnhart. Thank you so much for a fantastic weekend in Tyendinaga Territory last weekend at the Indigenous Cannabis Music Fest. I had a fabulous time there, and I owe it all to you. Tim was my main sponsor for that trip. He donated the money that I needed for my travel expenses, and I wouldn't have been able to be there without his support. So not only did he pull off a great event,